Hi. So before I start, could I please request you to like and subscribe to my channel and do share it with friends and ask them to like and subscribe as well. Thank you. Stress was a word we had heard of. Theoretically, we had read about it in books, we had understood the meaning of it, but it wasn't something that we had really seen. We had not, lifestyles were simpler, pressures were lesser. I think the advantage of having a father who was in the army, that, it was a very regulated life. There was not so much of pressure. It was he came home from work, we sat, friends came over, had a good evening, had a nice dinner, went to bed. There was no running around like crazy, aspiring for that big car or that big house or the marks the children were getting. I mean, we didn't see a lot of that. And as a result, I think stress kind of bypassed us, saying that this is not a house where I can settle in and I can make. This is not a place I can make my permanent residence. These guys are just too chill. I don't know what happened after that. Today, everybody that I talk to, be it a housewife, be it a child, be it a college student, a young adult, be it youngsters 30, below 30, above 30, everybody is stressed. Look at the people. I mean, honestly, when I look at everybody's faces and I see these frown lines, and I'm like, hey, what happened? Why do you have such pronounced lines? It's because they're doing this all the time. Why are they doing this all the time? Because they're constantly stressed, constantly worried, constant state of anxiety. We all are aware that the stress is the body's reaction to any change that requires adjustment. The body reacts to change on a physical, mental, and emotional front. Stress is normal, it's a part of life. You can experience stress from your environment, from because of your body, too fat, too thin, not good looking, too fair, not fair enough, not tanned enough, or the biggest reason for stress, thought, your thoughts. Do you know that even positive changes, such as a promotion, buying a house, the birth of a child, can produce stress? But there is a good stress, a good day to day stress that is normal. And it is a good thing because it motivates you. Like that stress before an exam usually is a good stress because it motivates you to study harder, to actually perform better. So, those are the kind of stresses that are good. When the stress becomes too much, when it becomes debilitating, when it starts affecting your health, that is when the stress is going to take a toll on your body. Normal stress will keep us alert, will keep us motivated, keep us ready to avoid any danger. When it becomes negative is when a person faces continuous challenges in life without any relief, any relaxation. The person becomes overworked and a stress related tension builds up. The body has a natural reaction called the flight fight reaction. This is activated or is supposed to be activated only in times of emergency. But this reaction can become chronic and will get activated all the time because of stress factors. When you have prolonged levels of stress, you will be constantly activating the flight fight mechanism, and this will create tremendous wear and tear on the body, both physical and emotional. Stress that continues without a break, without any stoppage, results in distress. Distress is a negative stress reaction. it can disturb the body's internal equilibrium and can lead to a lot of physical symptoms like headaches, diarrhea, upset stomach, high blood pressure, a very high pulse, chest pain, and even sexual dysfunction, a lack of libido or a lowered libido, problems with sleeping, insomnia. On an extreme case, high levels of stress can also lead to depression, panic attacks, anxiety, and worry. Research has shown that stress can bring on or worsen certain symptoms or diseases. It is linked to six major leading causes of death, from heart disease, cancer, lung ailments, accidents, cirrhosis of the liver, and in really extreme cases, suicide. Stress becomes very harmful when people, in order to relieve themselves of stress, go into compulsive behavior patterns or get into substance abuse. They could use substance abuse like drugs, alcohol, tobacco, or they could become compulsive eaters, or they could become shopaholics. These are all methods that they're trying to relieve stress. But actually, what happens is it causes more stress, and the person who's under stress gets trapped into a vicious cycle. There are a lot of warning signs of stress. You could feel dizziness or just being out of it, not feeling with it, feeling very spaced out. General aches and pains or migratory pains, as they're called, that one day you'll have a pain in your shoulder, one day you'll have a pain in your head, another day you'll have it in your stomach. These are signs that the brain is sending you saying, I'm in distress. Look at me, give me relief. Grinding your teeth, clenching your jaws. When you wake up in the morning and your jaws are hurting, it's possible that you've been clenching your jaw at night, an indication that chances are you are stressed. Headaches for no reason whatsoever. Indigestion, acid reflux is a very common symptom of stress. A change in appetite, increased or decreased appetite, muscle tension, this pain in your neck, at the back of your neck, this stress on your shoulders where you constantly want to hunch, indicative. Sleeping problems, where either you're sleeping too much to run away from the stress, or you're not sleeping at all because your brain won't shut down and you can't sleep. A palpitation, racing heart, an increased pulse, cold and sweaty palms, tiredness, exhaustion, that constant feeling of exhaustion. Because what stress does is it's like you're running a marathon all the time. Your brain is not shutting down, so you could get this sense of excessive exhaustion. Too much of weight gain or weight loss, diarrhea, sexual difficulties, a complete loss of libido, or trying to get into excessive sex to get away from the tension. These are some very common indicators that you may be stressed. For effective management of your stress, it is very important to understand what is causing the stress. It is important for you to write down and identify what are the events that are causing you stress. They could be external stresses, they could be internal stresses. External stresses can come from a lot of things like life changes. It could be marriage, pregnancy, promotion, buying a new house, or even in at times the death of a loved one, a divorce, a fight, a relationship breakup. It could also, external could also come from factors like maybe you've taken a pay cut, or that your boss is very demanding, or your deadlines are very difficult to meet, or your workload has gone up. They could also be external stresses from relationships, and one of the most common stresses that ask any parent about it. The most common stress a parent faces is from the child. How the child, from the time the child is young to, it starts with how much they're eating or not eating, their development, their school, their results in school, what college they're going to go to, are they getting a good job, not getting a good job, will they get married, and it is endless. There are also internal factors that cause a lot of stresses like fears and phobias, uncertainty, lack of control, beliefs. The thing is, the first step that you need to take is recognizing the fact that there is stress and whether the stress is coming from an internal factor or an external factor. After that, you can learn to manage it, at times even eliminate certain high stresses. You will never be able to remove stress from your life altogether, because stress is a part of life, it's a part of living, and it's okay. But you will learn how to handle the stress so that it doesn't become distress, it stays as stress. There are some very, very easy tips for reducing stress. Keeping a positive attitude. Now, I know it's easier said than done, but it is achievable. Every time you have a negative thought, imagine you always have a red chalk in your hand. Every time there's a negative thought, cut it out with a big red cross and say cancel, cancel. Replace it with a positive thought, or just replace it with love energy. Accepting the fact that there are a lot of events around you that you cannot control. The moment you have acceptance of the fact that you cannot control everything in your life, the stress starts coming down. Learn to be assertive, not aggressive. Assert your feelings, your opinions, your beliefs, instead of being aggressive, which will make you angry, defensive, or on the other extreme, where you become exceedingly passive and just allow people to walk over you. Now, whether you're angry, defensive, or passive, it is going to result in a high degree of stress. How about just learning to be comfortable with your feelings, to be comfortable with your opinions, with your beliefs, and expressing them as yours? It is really important to learn and practice relaxation techniques. There is meditation. There are a lot of tools in meditation that help you deal with stresses. In fact, in this, I'm going to put a link to a video I did earlier, which is how to manage your stress and anxiety and blood pressure. Please do go through that. It is a very, very easy to do, because I've talked of mudras and breathing techniques, which are very easy to follow. Exercise is amazing way of de-stressing. Exercise all the negative hormones out of your body, and when you exercise, you release the feel good hormones, which actually make you feel good about yourself. Not only that, it also helps you fight stress better when you are fitter, when you're healthier. Eat healthy. The healthier you eat, the better your body reacts. A very simple thing, but I have found it works beautifully, is when you learn to manage your time effectively. The better you manage your time, the better you are at handling specific stress driven situations that cause stress, like work and deadlines and stuff like that. And right now, I know all of us are facing excessive work stress because we are working from home. Because we are working from home, there's no time, like marked out for a tea break or a lunch break, you tend to work much longer hours because there's also that thing, that uncertainty of COVID and the fact that you may lose your job. So everybody is going under that extra pressure. Manage that pressure better by actually time managing yourself better. So start your workday on time, take your lunch break on time, take a coffee or tea break on time, and wind down on time. If you work regulated, you really don't have to work those extra hours. Set your limits. Say no when you can't do it. A lot of times we're creating stress in our life because we don't know how to say no. Trust me, I'm speaking about this from experience. As a counselor, there were times I was getting a call at 10 o'clock at night and I would be on the phone till 2 o'clock in the morning. I did not know how to say no because I was reacting, oh, the other person's in trouble. I need to help the person. But at the same time, I need to help me too. It was not healthy for me to get onto a counseling call at 10 o'clock at night till 2 in the morning, because then, for the rest of whatever was left of the night, my brain was churning because of the other person's problems, and I was creating stress and not getting enough relaxed sleep. So, I learned to say no to any counseling calls after 6:37 at night. Yes, I do make exceptions even now once in a while, but I learned to say no, that this is something I can't do. I definitely realized that one thing that worked for me was hobbies. Every hobby that I had acted as de stress. Try hobbies, they work beautifully. Whatever hobby works for you, be it cooking, be it doing a jigsaw puzzle, be it knitting, being it embroidery, painting, doesn't matter. Reading, pick a hobby that works for you, that gives you happiness. Getting enough rest and sleep is exceedingly important because all the stresses that you put in your body, sleep helps you recover from them. And please, a it is really important. Do not, at times of stress, turn to alcohol or drugs. Believe you me, in the long run, they're only going to harm you. Even if they're giving you that short, minuscule relief at that moment of time, the harm they're going to do to you is way greater. Spend a lot of time with family and friends. Spend time with friends who are non judgmental. You don't have to necessarily discuss all your problems with them, but just go spend time with them. Do happy activities. Go out for a walk, go hiking, just go out for a coffee. And in case your stress is at very high levels, please go to a counselor if you feel that you are on the brink of harming yourself or turning to substance abuse. Please take help. It is really important to do that. I have given you some easy ways on how to recognize stress. The first step to dealing with anything is to recognize that there is an issue. Once you recognize it, finding a solution becomes a lot easier. I've also given you some very easy ways on how to deal with stress. This sounds simplistic, but they work. Exercise, meditation, breathing, the YouTube video link that I have shared with you on how to deal with stress, eating right, eating healthy. Also, very important to identify what is good stress and what is not so good stress. The good stress, you can just let it be. It's okay, it's a part of life, and it is there to help you, motivate you, take you on further. As somebody had asked me that, how I tend to worry about any and everything. By making that list and identifying what is internal stress, what is external stress, what is good, what is bad stress. Once you've made that list, once you've identified it, once you've identified what are the situations that are actually causing that negative stress, then you can follow any of the methods given there to start dealing with stress. If you have a problem that is more serious, please put it into the comments of this video and we can get into a personal one on one discussion, or you can just go to a counselor and get help. I hope this has helped you. Thank you.